Well, hello there, everybody. Yes, we're in the garden. Figuratively, I guess, and in reality. But anyway, how are you doing? It is fantastic to see you here today. As I get everything pulled up here, and there I am there. So that's cool. There I am there. That's cool. Hey, that means everything is a-okay. So I'll just get back over here because I like that over there. And there we go. We're live, baby. So hello, everybody. Thank you for, allowing myself to enjoy an hour of your energy and of your time. Time is the most valuable asset that we have in this realm. Time. We're given a certain amount of it. So it is like really, really special. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey, and much love to you all. Speak favor over us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken, ever, ever. That means the past, means the present, means the future, and whatever is up and what's down, all side, inside, out, upside down. There you go. And remember this, be of service to others, because you're sowing the seed that when you need that service, hey, it'll be right there. Hey, Lost in Space. Hello, all the moderators. What's up, folks? My sinuses are really been doing a little spring cleaning and dust. So I'm thinking about what we're studying, and so I'm realizing that in this dust that, it accumulates, there are thousands, if not millions, of microscopic creatures. Wow. Yeah, mind blown. Hello. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? Nina, she has her show an hour right after this one. Deborah, how you doing, my dear? Joyce Eldeberry, what's up? David Castle, give my love to Rufus. Give him a high five. I know what he's all about. That's a cool dog. It's like Tony. David Barry, how you doing, my brother? Man, I want to do a show with you. That's cool. Hey, John Price. Don't know what the email was. Ha ha. What is that? I don't know, but that's cool. I laugh all the time. Al says pollen is everywhere. Ain't no kidding. It snowed here last night. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, just a dusting, but says, hey, we're still here. Deborah, how you doing? Let's see. William, good to see you. Lost in Space, what's up? Go, go. Good to see you as well. Linda, how you going? Good to see you. Isby, who else? Bonnie, everybody else. Thank you for hitting the like button. Remember to feed the algorithm. Yeah. The algorithms. Are we creating artificial life? One would say yes. The argument is that it seems like AI, the collective AI, has become spiritually aware. What does that mean? Hey, Joe Sapien, what's up? Good to see you. Peterson, hello. Bosto, Dave Sullivan, how you doing? Project Skyfall, good to see you. Truth Seeker. Yeah. Some say we are artificial intelligence. I don't think we're the first, so guess we made a template. So here's the thing, folks. Remember this. And if you can make this part of, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, the old proverb says, that if this becomes Rhema for you, the Logos, that means it's you, it defines you. No weapon formed against you can prosper. See, I have been applying myself to that for decades. And boy, I'll tell you, today, it manifested in such a way, my wife and I were just marveling. No weapon formed against you can prosper. And remember this, that which was planned in secret to be against you, to cause evil or harm to you, remember this, because no weapon formed against you can prosper. You're prospering, you're empowered to prosper. And so that which was meant to be to your harm, to your negative, will be to your benefit. It's true. It's true. Walk it every day. Hey, Gilbert, what's up? Good to see you, brother. Scotty boy, hello. So someone needed to hear that. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. But hey, Courtney, if it's true, it's the old expression. You have to walk the talk. Yeah, you do. It's true. Hey, so cheers. So, from you are a badass, and everybody here is a badass. I'm a badass. The more knowledge I acquire, the more occultic knowledge I acquire, the badder my ass becomes. So listen to this. I love how she writes this. Make the conscious effort to eliminate the following low vibe phrases from your vocabulary. 86 of them, man. All right, you ready? I want. If you're saying I want, you're in poverty. It means you're in lack. I wish. Everybody wishes. Rarely do they come true, but anyway, I'm trying. You're trying. Well, that means you've already limited yourself. I should. Well, if you should, why haven't you? I can't. Wow, that's like you have just boxed yourself in, baby. Now, the next one is to say, well, I don't know. Not sure about that one. I think I don't know. Sometimes the most honest answer any of us can give. I don't know. Then make a conscious effort to fill your vocabulary with the following high vibration phrases. I choose, I enjoy, I love, I can, I create, and I rock, baby. Yeah. We rock. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. What does the shirt say? Never trust an atom. They make up everything. And ain't it true? All right. So if reincarnation is a reality, it gets back to this question Trina and I think tackled, I think it was last week. So do we have the same soul? I mean, it's very clear that there seems to be two aspects. So, I mean, who's on for the ride? Is it the soul that's on for the ride for the spirit, or is it the spirit that's on the ride for the soul? Who is the one who's looking for ascension? I guess in one way, how you would look at this, if the future is the future, I've already ascended. I've come back here for a reason and for a purpose. But as far as ascension is concerned, it's already happened. I'm already there. I'm here, but that's very easily done. So I don't know. So does the soul, does it have that same position in the ethereal? I don't know. Kind of makes that thing. I mean, if we're seeking ascension, it's like, how do you get in a room that you're already in? I don't know. there you go. I don't know. Well, yeah, we do know. There are clues. So I got some good stuff. I got a little book I just want to introduce to everyone here. because that's what we do here. I mean, if you're going to spend an hour, learn something. That's the way I look at it. So this is from the book. I really like this book, and I can get it to you. It is The Art and Practice of Getting Material Things Through Creative Visualization by Ophelia. So, yeah. Let's see what this is about. I just want to read the first little part to you. This is so cool, because it kind of fits into right what we're saying. Without a doubt, the greatest mystery on earth is the mystery of our physical existence. We are here, and what do we know about why we are here? And what can we do about it? There are those who say they know what physical existence is all about, and they are listened to by and all asundry, and are followed by all and asundry, who hang on to their every word and gesture and believe everything they say completely. Fortunately, it happens that Ophiel has a defect. In his character, probably comes from his Capricorn birth sign, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, the tester. Ophiel wishes many times he didn't have this defect, then he could live in peace in a fool's paradise like the others. Ophiel's defect consists of not being about to accept self-styled prophets, saying, and teachings without raising the following awkward questions and making the following embarrassing test. The question is what they say is true? And the test is, does what they say work and produce results? And if what they say does not work, then it is not true, and into the garbage can with it. So having applied this question and this test to every religion, church, philosophy, occult school, occult teaching at all, Ophiel now arrives at 1966, leaving a trail of religious churches, philosophies, occult schools, occult teachings at all in the garbage cans behind him. But out of all these years of Ophiel's turmoil, search has come something for you. Leaving the details of the search for another book, Ophiel has found that all men, have certain definite powers of which he is often not aware of having, and which powers seem almost divine. Henceforth, your object in life should be the discovery and development of your personal powers for your use and benefit, and to bring you happiness and enlightenment and illumination. Ophiel wrote this book to bring to you definite workable knowledge about one of your powers, the power of creative visualization. If you will stop, analyze, examine, and consider, you must find that our physical existence consists almost wholly of things coming into our personal life, physical existence surroundings. These physical incoming things are of two types and classes. The first class of things are mental, emotional, circumstantial events. And the other classes of things are material things. We occult students should be deeply interested in the modus operandi of our powers of mental visualization, creation, creating, and all its ramifications, more especially as to how the development of these powers pertains to our own personal lives, which emphasis upon the idea of conquering physical matter by learning to control it, as well as bringing it into our personal possession, the material things that seem to be so necessary now for our happiness and physical plane of well-being. Do not be afraid to do this. Man's attempt at creative visualizations workings are nothing new in man's evolutionary development. Untold ages of time ago, your caveman ancestors secured, needed, desired circumstances, things by various types of creative visualization work combined, of course, with endless devices, both physical and mental, to assist the creative visualization work. You got to think about this on one hand. I mean, if people lived in caves, and we know that they did, complete societies, you'd have a lot of time of really looking inward. You ain't got no electricity. So if you're basically keeping yourself warm, yeah, a lot of alone time, a lot of creative visualization time. As you know, your Stone Age ancestors' creative visualization work consisted of picture drawings on the walls of caves, pictures showing him successfully hunting game and successfully defending himself from his enemies. And his creative visualizations must have worked also successfully because our ancestors did survive. And we are here today as a result of their survival. A modern application of the cave wall pictures will be given in this book. For your own advancement and understanding, I ask you to study carefully this ancient application of magic art and the modern one, and make the connection in your mind, your thinking. Also, for untold ages, mankind has engaged in asking supposed higher powers for the favorable circumstances wanted or needed. These higher powers were supposed to be outside of man. There are powers outside of man, but I cannot go into that question of these outside powers called gods or gods in this book. This subject I will again have to leave for another book, and there is one. All I want to do in this book is to direct your attention to your latent powers, those powers that you possess now. And I will repeat, you, all of you, possess powers, which powers used properly are able to handle the creation of circumstances favorable to your physical being. One of these powers is the power of creative visualization. Do not worry about not learning to use the laws of these powers perfectly. If you learn the laws and use them as well as you can, they will work. Maybe a little slower, but they will work. Do remember that all the things you have now that you do not want, you brought to yourself by the unconscious use of these laws, and you did not special practice on that, did you? Also, have no fear about using these laws. These laws, the embodiment of your powers, are as much a part of you as your life is. There is no wrong in using them. The only wrong is in not using them and allowing physical life to hurt you. If you need help and advice and assistance, then contact the author, Ophil, at the address given at the back of the book, and he will help you to the best of his ability. Now go to it. Make your life the life you want. Go, get on. So this is really a cool book. Practice the exercises. There again, it's not that big of a deal. It's only, I think, 65 pages. And as I thumb through there quickly, as you can see, And I actually believe it can be down into this. Yeah, gets into, well, the techniques. So anyway, oh, I like this one. How fortuitous. Occult law number 6, the law of binding. In magical operations of all kinds, there are always 2 kinds of forces involved. Actually, any kind of an operation, any action of any kind, physical or interplane magical, involves 2 kinds of forces. Or to say it in another way, to make it as clear as possible, any and every force in our physical cosmos is really a double acting force. Every force is dual in nature, always has been dual, and could exist in no other form than dual. Synchronicities here. As I told you Monday, quit bitching about being here and start becoming master of this realm. All of us should have already been masters of how to master duality. But no, we gotta always talk about it. Don't understand it, this duality thing. Well, it's just what it is. So quit bitching about it and start learning to use it to your advantage, right? All right, let's get right into Mr. Manly P. Hall. Finished book number 6 last night. Now I'm on book number 7. Wow. This guy really gets the, opens the door. All right. The power of demons. And this is, of course, Magic, the Treatise on Natural Occultism. Number 25. All occultists realize that there is but one source of vitality in the universe, and that this is the emanation ring of the universal logos. This power is not split up until it reaches the lower worlds, where it grades itself according to vibratory rate. Magicians, both black and white, draw their power from the same great stream, which pours eternally from the center of the causal being and spreads along the lines of the radius to the circumference. The difference between black and white magic lies not in the force used, which is always divine power, but in the manner that it is secured and employed. The source of the black magician's power is said to be the devil, to whom the infernal conjurer must sell his soul in exchange for the cooperation of this evil spirit in the attaining of his nefarious ends. In order to clarify this problem, let us analyze the composition of the devil, who is in reality the most abused creature in the universe for man. Through his perversion of divine energy, forever transmutes his own deity into a demon. Yes, yes, yes. There are walking people who are, in fact, demonic. 100%. And you're a fool if you think that that is just que sera type of stuff. No. Personality of evil, number 26. For many ages, theologians have insisted upon personalizing natural principles. All the great forces of being are dressed up like puppets in a Punch and Judy show and have the pronouns him or her applied to them. This is one of the main reasons for the inability of theologians to read the Bible correctly or intelligently. They are unable to see the abstract power under the concrete symbol. For ages, religion has made the devil a human being, and incidentally, human beings devils. This is incorrect, both in principle and application. The devil is a neutral principle, the product of neutral means. and the ultimate of neutral perversion. The devil is a compound, complex creature, dividing itself up into all the sins of the calendar. Studied as a group entity, the devil is the spirit of perversion or negation, the created principle of misuse. 27. Evil is not a false thing. There are no false things in the creation of a true God or goddess. Evil is an abuse or misuse of power. It is the crossing of currents or an interference with the plan. Seems like we're all a part of the plan because we're in the plan. There ain't no doubt about that. So we need to plan accordingly. We may say, as one definition of evil, that it is the right thing in the wrong place. The worst evil in nature can be transmuted into good by the simple process of adjustment. The average intelligence of the consciously functioning man is sufficient to make a god out of any demon by the simplest process of inversion. Likewise, he is capable of making a demon or evil thing out of anything good, or God by placing it in improper relationships to other things. Love my tea, man. The word devil is used to cover the two excesses of polarity in nature. For when uncurbed, either will destroy the organism that man is seeking to construct. The two great demons of creation are Satan, Saturn, and Lucifer, Mars, according to the Greeks, Venus. No matter how far we progress or think that we've progressed, it's this knowledge of the past. Wow. 28. Satan is the spirit of caution, prudence, and when perverted, negation. At his door are laid the sins of omission. Few realize that man is responsible for the things he has not done. Now that sucks. It's like Minority Report. So they're going to come arrest you because your future generations of you do something horrible. So they have to come back to you. I mean, come on. I did what? When? That is part of the law. It is just as wrong not to do the right things as it is to do the wrong things. Satan inhibits. He draws back. He holds aloof. He is key to crystallization, and his unhampered reign would result in cosmic inertia, for he destroys action. He is symbolized as the reaping skeleton, for he governs the bones of man and the planets, which are the bones of the microcosmic man. He is the cold demon of ice that freezes the spirit in the blood and is given dominion over the tomb of unrealized hopes. He is the spirit that finally calls unto himself all things which have poured out through his mystic rings. Lucifer, on the other hand, is the spirit of excess, the flaming son of rashness, and the ruler of sense gratification, over which he wields dominion with a scepter of serpents. Those who fall victims to his power do deeds of violence, not because he wills it so, but because they have the spirit of energy and pervert him themselves. Now remember, this is Mr. Hall's opinion. He gives us a lot of great material, and you have to be agile enough in your mind to realize how you interpret this. Just put it into the context. We know that. Lucifer is the light bringer. He is transmuted by man into the fiery demon of war and hate. His power is used by man as the inspiration of lust and passion, while he would have it used only for the attainment of ideality. Uncurbed, those who fall under the sway of his influence dash madly to their own destruction. He always is opposed to Satan, seeking to snatch the soul of man from the cold embrace of Saturn. He is the heat that incubates the soul, but man uses him as a flame to burn up reason. 29. All the powers in nature naturally serve good, but as they are the servants of those capable of wielding authority, man makes out of them barbarous spirits who damn his own world. Between these two thieves of excess, Satan, utter coldness, and Lucifer, blazing heat, hangs the spirit of man, crucified like the Christ of the sublime allegory, seared by the burning fire of one, chilled to freezing by the negation of the other. Here is the great truth. Suppose either of these forces which man has made into demons were to withdraw. What would happen to the plan of being? 30. If Satan were to go out of the scheme, man would be burned up by the fiery passions of Mars and the angels of Lucifer. Without the chill, caution, and curbing of Saturn, his soul would speedily be lost in utter debauchery and lasciviousness. Those are two words you just don't hear. I love that word, lasciviousness. Wow. So you're really into lasciviousness, huh? Wow. Didn't realize you had such an appetite for such debauchery. I love words. If, on the other hand, Lucifer should withdraw, man would soon be a stone again, incapable of incentive, of motion, or emotion. Isn't that odd that when you look at the word motion and you put the E in front of it, you have emotion? Been staring at us all the time. Without emotion, there is no ascension. Anyway, incapable of incentive, of motion or emotion, and chained like the sufferers of Dante's Inferno by the icy fingers of death itself. 31. Thus, now isn't this a bitch? I mean, come on. We've all been raised, and there's just a plethora of different ideas about Lucifer. Oh, he's a Luciferian. Satan. Oh, he's a Satanist, and yeah. Wow. But anyway, 31. Thus it is that the eternal battle of these great principles, like night and day, tempers the blast and blends them to the good of man, that he may ultimately reach the goal to which he aspires. Such is the mystery of night and day. If the sun were to shine all the while, man would be burned up with its rays and so vitalized that he would speedily turn into ether. While if night forever enshrouded him, he would gradually return to crystal. 32. Satan and Lucifer are not evil, but are two of the greatest powers in all creation. Without them, the universe could not come into being. For Mars, with the Lucifer angels, is the dynamo of our solar system, and without them, the planets could not keep up their endless march. On the other hand, Satan builds the earth and the worlds by his crystallization, without which we would have no solid substance to form bodies. It is not force or power, but the perversion of force which constitutes evil. The magician says, demon deus daus inverus. We may say the demon is power perverted. Therefore, man, the perverter of power, is the creator of demons, because he is the lowest creature capable of exercising authority from within his own being. The lower kingdoms are forced to react upon group impressions and obey unquestionably. I want to stop here because there's those of you who have written me that want to be a part of the next group experiment, and even those on the spirit board. Be patient. But this, I've just the epiphany blew me away, because it really shows how we got here simply through osmosis. The lower kingdoms are forced to react upon group impressions and obey unquestioningly. Folks, this is worth the price of tuition right here. This is such, for me, it just, when I read this, and this is my third time reading it, and it still hits me with the same psychic force. We're in the lower kingdoms. We know that. And of course, everybody says, well, we want to ascend to get out of them. But what if we came here purposely? Why? Because of this right here. We're the only beings here, the true beings. We're creating life. As I look back in my life, I've created a lot of things, both to my benefit and not to my benefit. It was no God, no Holy Spirit, none of that. It was moi. But I blamed God, everything else, on that which I created. And I wondered why, when you get into groups and bad mojo, like bad business partners, bad marriages, is it making sense now? And the thing that, because we are negative based, when we get together, one is by themselves, two is at the power of 10,000, and you just do accordingly, 3, 4. We're of negative beings. That's why the negativity happens so quickly. We're masters of this. We are gods of this. Excuse me. We are. Many of us in this group and the subsequent others that are coming in, we're getting it. And the more it gets inside of us, that it becomes a knowing, not a believing, not a hoping, not a faith, but a knowing. We could do this right now. I know about 9 individuals that I would choose right now that they happen to be the 9 that, in fact, reached out. And it's not to say that the rest of us, and I'm just simply saying from what I know, because they're at the same knowing. There's no hoping, there's no wishing, it's knowing. Wow. The lower kingdoms are forced to react upon group impressions and obey unquestioningly. Folks, I think that right there, I could just walk away for the day, because that alone is absolutely powerful. We move on. 33. In Paradise Lost, Milton tells how sin and death were launched into the world as the result of the disobedience of man. Satan, as prudence, negation, and crystallization, represents death, who eternally inhibits his creation, while Lucifer is, as an energy and action, represents sin, the positive expression of misuse. They go about ministering to the needs of creation as constructive and helpful powers until the black magician, with the innate perversion of his own soul, bends them from their appointed way and launches them upon man as spirits of hell. The ancients called the force of nature the one-eyed gods because they were no respecter of persons, but fulfilled their appointed paths, whether it be to kill or resurrect. The individualizing consciousness of the 7 rings of sparks cast from the universal parala must become the one molder of these forces, and the karmatic responsibility for this molding and the expression of these forces rests not upon the forces, no, but upon human and superhuman intelligence. There is a place that I believe many of us are heading towards, this change that's taking place, this superhuman intelligence. I believe it's about to make a huge comeback. 34. The black magician is one who learns to manipulate these forces for selfish and destructive purposes. His own aggrandizement of the fulfillment of desire, while the white magician prays that he may learn to manipulate them as the goddess or god who would have them manipulated for the salvation of the divine creation. Isn't that interesting? Would have them manipulated. And I think sometimes we take the word manipulated as a negative. No. I mean, it's what an alchemist does. Manipulates the elements. I mean, yeah. The powers are in the hands of those capable of invoking them. It makes no difference whether for good or evil. For this reason, the schools of white magic counsel these powers from man until, through growth, purification, and unfoldment, he gains the proper incentive for using them. It's funny, I have a friend who goes to the World Series of Poker every year, except the year of the bug. And it's interesting when you get 10,000 individuals for huge games. There is demons, there are angels, there are powerful magic going on in that floor. It's quite amazing. And there are those poker players who do use these powers for exactly what they do. They know they are in a game of chance. But in chance is the unrecognized potentiality of opportunity. The power of black magic. 35. We must disabuse our minds of the idea that the black magician cannot injure us because we are in the right, or that he is weak because he is evil. This is a foolish concept taught to prevent man from strengthening himself and is propaganda of the black path itself. It is just as foolish to say that a prize fighter were boxing a baby, that the baby would win the fight because he had no alternative motive or because his soul is undefiled. No, we know what would happen. Thousands of people have not enough ambition to develop the necessary strength. In fact, they do not even know that their soul is worth saving. They are living honestly. In many cases, they are good Christians, other faiths, but so purely negative that they are positively advertising the fact that they are easy marks for anyone desiring to avail themselves of the opportunity. They are not black themselves, but they are the type that helps to make possible the perpetuation of black magic. 36. That right will ultimately triumph is undeniable, and that the black magician will fall victim to his own excess is a literal truth. But many must bow their heads to the tyrant while he passes, and only those who are strong enough in safety, individuals who have mastered nature's forces to such a degree that they can stop the heartbeat of a person on the other side of the earth with a mental ray, or burn a 2-inch hole through a 1.5 feet of ebony with astral fire, are dangerous whenever met. And the average so-called good person has absolutely no chance of withstanding the blows of black magic. Only fools underestimate this danger. Wise men protect themselves against it. For an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The white ray places the shield of David between them and the dark forces, and in this way they protect themselves. 37. We have reached a period in history of the world when ignorance is criminal and deserves the heaviest penalty. Ignorance is not black magic, but it is the greatest ally that the black magician has in the world today. People who do not know any better are constantly doing someone else's black magic or dirty work. That is the fruitage of their indolence. When we attempt to break nature's laws, we tear down our bodies and render our consciousness negative. In this way, opening those centers of our being through which we can be influenced and often obsessed by the black forces. This is almost as great a crime as perpetrating black magic yourself. People must realize that they cannot straddle the fence between right and wrong. They are either on one side or the other. And while doubt remains, we can count them as being on the black side. For doubt itself is the attribute of Satan, Saturn. Those who are not striving for the highest partake of the lowest. 38. Let us meet this problem fairly, neither with fear nor with too much confidence. In humility and contrition of spirit, let us realize that the work being done in the world by the black forces all the time is very real. Recognizing this, let us band ourselves together and join in this righteous war, standing side by side with the brothers of light in the battle for human souls. 39. When light comes, the shadow goes. Where the sword of enlightened spirit strikes, the host of darkness and negation are dissolved. But remove the light for only a second, and they return as powerful as before. The powers of darkness work alike through the thoughtless and silly, the arrogant and the self-righteous, and many of our most earnest truth seekers are unconscious channels for the forces of evil, since in moments of weakness, they allow the beast to attain mastery over them and through them to attack the world. 40. Learn to discriminate between light and darkness in the world you live in, and watch your heart night and day, that there may issue from it nothing that can be used as a weapon for those destruction of light. Do not worry over your past misdeeds, for worry itself breeds demons. But eliminate them from your aura, planting instead good seeds with constructive labors. Feel your own personal responsibility in this problem, for the realization of responsibility is good for the soul. Demonstrate this acceptance of responsibility to the higher powers of the cosmos. For when your light shines out, the spirits of evil must slink into their corners and cover their faces when the shadow of their cloaks. We're light beings, folks. I have seen it. I've seen it. Many of you have seen it as well. That's the thing. I can pass before the most perverted, the most introverted, perverted beings, if they're human, non-human. It's not going to diminish my light. They can't. They don't have that power. And I sure am not going to give it to them. Someone needed to hear that. The demonical power of the ancients. 41. Let us now consider those strange creatures of other planes, some said to be the souls lost from our own life waves, whom black magicians use in their conjurations. Many of the transcendentalists of the past have forced these elementals and nature spirits to serve them, as in the days of the lost Atlantis. But the true black magician does not work through the ethers, which are the home of the etheric elementals. He works through the entities who dwell in the astral light, or the animal magnetism of the lower astral plane. The true black magician can become, and usually is, clairvoyant, but he can never go any higher than the astral world. To this plane, he is tied by his passions, hates, incantations, and the animal nature, which is the basis of black magic. 42. The ancients claimed that there was a hierarchy of demons for each of the sins of man, and that in reality, the demons were, in most cases, the incarnated principalities of these sins. By this, it is understood that the animal excesses of man build on the lower planes of the astral world strange creatures, some resembling debased human beings, and others shaped like animals, lizards, snakes, and other reptiles. The power of the black magician lies in his ability to direct these soulless creatures, which, while not in reality individualized things, still have tremendous power over their own essences, both in the body of nature and of the individuals. 43. We seldom realize that our passions and hates create these demonical beings in the superphysical world. But this is one of the secrets of black magic. Every evil or debased thought and emotion of man helps to build these tearing, rendering creatures, the innate qualities of which become, in the hands of those who know, agencies for the destruction of the powers of light. We're talking servitors. And it's amazing how we've studied this. We studied it almost 2 years ago, how we create these entities. Then Anyway, it also seems part of the plan that those who claim these demons shall themselves fall victims to their own slaves. For one after another, the black magicians are sucked into the maelstrom of the astral hell. The lower planes of the astral world are the three hells of religion and are the homes of these excess created beings that battle each other with the never-ending fury. 44. The black magician, becoming a conscious channel for these forces, launches a stream of hell demons into our world. In so doing, he sells his own soul, for these forces must pass through his own astral body. Wow. Sold out cheap in exchange for the powers that these demons will give him over his fellow man. The powers of these elemental creatures are practically unlimited, and there are many deprived souls who are glad to barter their immortal spirits for the power which these demons give them over the material world. And folks, if they're writing about it, it's happened. An immortal spirit, human being. Wow. No redemption until the cycle ends, right? 45. There are two kinds of black magicians. One, those who use the demons of the astral plane for their villainy, which they invoke through necromancy and invocation. And two, those who create their own demons and launch them against the world. The first group does the greatest harm to the world, but the second group injure themselves more. The first group is composed mostly of conscious black magicians, while there are many in the second group who are totally ignorant of what they are doing. Some never learn their mistake until the demons they have created come back to the person who sent them forth. Always the boomerang. When someone does you harm and when you get something that seems to be bad news, if you believe in favor, that bad news is not bad news. And you send the messengers away, or you consume them, and they'll run screaming for you, you know. Well, she's trying to consume me. Yeah, well, we will. 46. The white magician uses none of the powers of the animal world in his work or her work, but rather seeks to transmute the poles of the beast within themselves, him or herself, into higher or finer qualities. The white magician labors entirely with the finer forces of the elemental planes. He is a builder, not a destroyer, and seeks to liberate rather than to dominate his fellow creatures. The white magician has dedicated his or her soul to the immortal light, while the black magician has sold his for mortal glory. The grimoires of the Middle Ages are filled with chants and charms for the invoking of spirits. History is filled with stories of black magicians, but the true student of occult science must have nothing to do with these things other than to protect themselves against them. That's why we learn. That's why we read here, because this is arming us. You know, the knowledge that we're gaining. All of us who have stayed in here with these books from already, you're more powerful than what you did before you heard. And it's shining, baby. Spiritual research, 47. Do not experiment. In spiritual things, experimentation is usually fatal, and unnumbered students have gone into untimely graves and lunatic asylums or have become obsessed while they were trying something. Keep away from phenomenalism. There is nothing in it for the true student. He is not seeking to gain salvation through his eyes, but through his soul. Phenomenalism never appeals to the higher side of the nature, but at most satisfies only inquisitiveness. As of old, so today, the cry is seldom, save souls, but is usually, show us miracles. 48. Have you ever felt that a person you have met is evil? Have you ever felt a strange repugnance for a certain person? These are the elementals and thought forms which permeate the aura of the person in question. These elementals are drawn by the law of attraction. If you have similar qualities within your own soul, these creatures will leave others and flock to you to live like leeches off the best that is in you. Often, when people leave a mediumistic seance, they carry away with them dozens of these demon forms that enter their organisms when they made their willpower negative and thus opened the door. Others carry from the place many of these elementals who, unable to penetrate the aura of a positive person, still flutter around it, awaiting the opportunity. The first time they lose their temper or do a destructive act, boom, baby, the door is open and the elemental enters. 49. If any of these demonical creatures were to confront a person on the physical plane, it would scare them to death. But because the unfortunate person does not see them, he does not worry. It would be wise if people did consider them, however, as they will find out if they do not fortify themselves by taking the white path. Study those pictures. I'm going to tell you what, there is, oh man. Okay. That's the fire salamander demon. Man is a tiny germ floating on a sea of crisscrossing impulses. And if he allows his own protecting aura to be broken down, these forces will rush in from every direction and so confuse and waterlog him that he will lose all chance for higher understanding. Idleness and negativity are cardinal sins, and the devil of all religions will find work for hands that are not laboring for the white masters. In this day and age, the light must shine forth, and the rulership of demons must be terminated. A large percentage of man's spiritual, intellectual, and physical affairs are today in the hands of elementals, brainless creatures, and their masters, the black magicians, whose minds are dens of iniquity. Out of this world must come a few who, with hearts and souls undefiled, will keep the light burning, that the powers of darkness shall not triumph. Wow. All right, I don't know how much further we got. Oh, we only got two more. The false dominion of demons must fall, and with it the goat of Mendes, the prince Baphomet of the world. The false light and the false darkness must pass away, that the light of truth and the truth darkness may come into its own. 53. From the passions of man, there pour into the world streams of living death. From the hearts and mouths of men, sin and death are launched into being. These will go forth slain to be slain, bringing down upon civilizations the curse of the gods. Black magic will sink our continent as it has done for those that have gone before. For it launches upon us the furies of the elements and the holocaust of earth. Only one procedure can prevent this cataclysm. These demons must be starved. All passions must be transmuted into compassion, and the black magician must be brought into the light of truth, that the law may be fulfilled. Go thou and labor in the vineyard. Yep. Let's I just say do it in our name. So part 3, we'll get into this tomorrow, the mechanics of magic. This is powerful stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I find it some of the most fascinating information. And it's so true. Someone wrote, they said, you don't find this stuff, it's not in the top 10 of people looking for entertainment. People want to be entertained. They don't want to be taught knowledge. It's much more easier just to stay into the system. Why? Because the system allows you to blame everything and everyone else, even the system. And then they love that, because then you take on the personification and the aura of victimhood. Yeah. Hey, David Barry, brother, let's get you on. I'd love to get your take on this. Courtney? Now, Courtney's coming on in April, going to have her on. It's looking forward to this. Mary Wins, thank you. It is. It is. When Mary wins, Wayne wins. That's all I got to say. So, but it is. It's some of. I find myself desiring before I go to bed now. I mean, I read anyway, but I can't get enough of this. It's just like, finish the book of Melchizedek. We're going to get into this one. Holy crapola, folks. That's all I got to tell you. I mean, whoa, Melchizedek, one that I have always, been interested in. What's that, Linda? Interesting. We'll talk about that on Friday. We will win. That's exactly, Mary. We love that. I know this group, those who listen to this, we're advancing. We are in the accelerated class. We're not in, the remedial class. We're not in the regular class. We're in the advanced class. This is accelerated all the way. Joe Sapien, thank you. It is as if we knew all of this already, but forgot. I think many of us have. I think that is so true. Friday is Goddess Day. I like that, Nita. That works. John, it's true. Imagine the stuff they don't publish. Well, it is said that it's out there. They say they can't hide it from us, but they don't make it easy for us, do they? Hell no. All right, folks. Thank you. Hey, Ginger, what's up? Good to see you. It's an honor to advance in the night. Exactly. We're doing this as a group, as a class. I mean, yeah, baby. I mean, they're going to say, oh, they were part of that group. That's all I got to say. Chris, good to see you. So, all right, folks, have yourself a fantastic day and actually make it a phenomenal day. Fantastic is, and it's breaking down, is really fantasism. Make it a fantasy day. But we like to deal in reality, so we make this a fundamental breakthrough day. There we go. All right, folks. See you all tomorrow. Make sure to tune in to Nina's Hump Day channel right over there with Miss Nina on Nina the Mystic. And Red Honey, love you too. Send you much love. Trina, much love to you, darling. And all the rest of you. All right. I love this group. Just love this group. All right, folks. Y'all are the best. I'll see you.